Hey guys, welcome to JJG Tennis Coaching. My name's Jack, and today we're going to be analyzing one of Roger Federer's forehands. So let's get started. So notice how he starts in a very strong, ready position. His knees are bent, he's set, and he's prepared to hit the ball. His eyes are focused on his opponent, and he's trying to anticipate the incoming ball. He notices that it's going to go to his forehand, so he begins his unit turn. And notice at the beginning how he stays with his left hand on the throat of the racket. And this just helps support the racket and take a bit of tension off that bottom hand. It allows his hitting hand to stay quite relaxed here. So he's gripping the racket probably, if 10's really tense, he's probably holding it a 3 or a 4 here. So he's very relaxed in the preparation position. So now he's going to begin his unit turn, and he's going to start to coil his shoulders, and you can notice how you can see the logo on his shirt is now facing us. So he's got side on, he's coiled his shoulders out to the side. He keeps that left arm extended across his body, and that's just helping him coil his shoulders, but also it's used for spacing. And he knows by keeping that arm out to the side, he's a good distance away from the ball. He's never going to let the ball go under that left arm, because then he would be too close on contact. Notice here also how he keeps the string slightly facing down. So he's just lightly supporting the racket with the hand here, but he's not flexing it up. He's just keeping it slightly up. But there's very little tension in his hand in that position. There's a bit of space between his elbow and his waist, so he's keeping that racket raised with that elbow slightly. So these are a few things that are key with his forehand. So he usually gets to this set position before the ball lands on his side of the court. That's just so how his take back is nice and early, and he's prepared to hit the ball. He's not late to the contact. So now he's going to go into his racket drop. So he starts to relax the racket down. And notice how he keeps the strings facing down in this position. And he's going to start to go into his racket lag phase. So here he starts to lag the racket back. And because he's very loose, and he starts to uncoil his body. And by uncoil, you can notice how his shoulder, if I just highlight the rise again sign, it starts to turn out to the front, and that means his hip and his shoulders are uncoiling, and because he's holding the racket very loose here, it allows this racket lag to happen. And what is the racket lag? Well, that's when the tip of the racket is pointing almost like the back fence here, and the butt cap of the handle is pointing down the court. You can also notice how his arm is extended and it's nice and straight, but also in this position, his wrist is kind of flexed back, which is helping him with that racket lag position. The strings are pointing out to the side, and now he's going to start to extend his arm, and he brings his arm straight through to the contact. So that's the contact point. You can see how he's really got that right arm extended, and the wrist is slightly flexed back. So the wrist is not in front. The hand is not in front of his wrist. His hand is actually almost flexed back. And why does he do this? Because it's a very strong position for him, for his arm and his hand to be pushed back when he's this extended out to the ball. Whereas if he had a bent arm, it can be a little bit easier for that racket to be pushed back, especially at a lower level. So if you're trying to hit at a higher level, being able to really contact far out in front has a lot of benefits to just consistency and depth of your shot. By hitting it this far out in front, it really allows him to extend through the contact. Notice here how he doesn't pull up on the contact too early. He keeps extending forward. So if I just wind it back here, notice how he keeps extending almost through the contact. And now he starts to almost close the palm of the hand. And you can almost see the tip of the racket is almost extended out there. So that shows you that he's starting to close the palm of his hand in that position. And not until his arm is fully extended this way does he start to bend the elbow here. So he's really extended through the contact, and notice how he starts to bring this hip through the contact just after he hits the ball, which allows his body weight to keep moving forward and committing to the shot. Just before the contact is when he really accelerates on the ball, and that's where he gets a lot of his topspin. His whip effect is just here. He has a lot of skill and is able to really accelerate with his hand just before he makes contact here. This version of his forehand, he's slightly just he's extending more through the ball, hitting through the ball a bit flatter, but he is able to sometimes really accelerate and get a lot of spin by using his forearm and his wrist to create more racket head speed. So here's just a few tips that you can kind of take away for your own game. There's definitely a few things in there that are really beneficial to some lower level players, just in terms of your ready position and being able to contact the ball a bit further in front and preparing early on the shots with that unit turn into the set position sort of before the ball lands on your side of the court. So if you enjoyed this video, I do online video analysis coaching. Feel free to send me an email and check out my website if you're interested in video analysis. Thanks a lot. I'll see you on the next video.